Have you ever come across an online game that has the game mode competitive or ranked? If the answer is yes, then, well, you have probably come across the game's ranking system. And while it isn't a new concept or anything, don't you think that some of these systems are kinda shit? Which is why, let us explore the making of a good ranking system. The ranking system has been a staple of video games for a very long time. It is a structure that collects players' data of their current progress using different stats in various matches that the player partook in. From there on, the game pairs players with similar skill sets together for a balanced competitive game, which incentivizes people to compete and grind for the apex, Legend. Now, I lied. The concept of ranking hasn't been around for all that long. It used to be just scores and a flat number that has no real value, coined high score. It was used in every one of those arcade games back in the day, and whoever had the highest score is the best player in their respective games. Modern games, however, while some still have high scores, most rely on a rank to determine their player-based skill level. Unlike the high score structure, rank is a system that tracks the player's statistic and, basing on a few factors like KDA and win-loss ratio, rewards the player with their respective rank by ranking up. The motive is to encourage and promote improvements in players by showing them a linear progression and colorful PNGs. I mean, you don't want to just see the numbers going up, you want to see something flashy and crispy, you know? Unless you're a Trackmania gamer. There are a few popular ranking systems out there, but I will be talking about two of them. The first being the ELO rating system, a term named after Arpad Elo, I probably butchered that name, originally used to calculate the skill levels in chess. It eventually expanded out to other sections in sports and also esports. The mobile game League of Legends has adopted this system, despite the criticism, quite well into their game. When you win, they calculate your stats and give you a nice ego boost in the form of an elo increase or a rank up. And when you lose, well, fuck you I guess. The criticism here being most of the time you are gaining less than losing your elo, and at times gaining like 10 LP while you're losing 30 LP, although there is a reason for this that I will talk about later. Another popular ranking system is TrueSkill, developed by Microsoft that was eventually updated to, you guessed it, TrueSkill 2. Very creative. Initially designed for multiplayer games with more than 2 participants, there are complicating equations involved in this system, but basically, you have a base elo of 25 and the machine confidence in your skill of 25 over 3. Your base elo always increases or decreases after a win or loss. However, the actual rank update will depend on the machine's confidence, whether or not it thinks your performance was unexpected. So essentially, your ego is decided by a fucking rock. But why do we need them anyway? I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the idea is to create a stimulus, a hit of adrenaline for players when they achieve something. For example, in Rainbow Six Siege there are a total of 36 ranks, 5 bronze, 5 silver, and so on until champion. And each time we win a game, we gain some elo, and it feels good. It feels really great to achieve a new level, knowing that your time grinding paid off. As a result, it pushes us to keep playing, and game companies abuse this fully. I mean, can you blame them? Money is money. Also, just as the name of the genre goes, it creates a sense of competitiveness. Players constantly push the boundary of gaming, and further pushing their skill ceiling in the game, inspiring newer players to keep on grinding and improving. Due to this, a ranking system allows for a meaningful replayability. As a famous philosopher once said,
I'm just gonna stump you. You're gonna keep coming back. I'm gonna seal up all my cracks. You're gonna keep coming back. Why? Because you keep smelling the syrup. You worthless.
Because of the adrenaline shot that ranking up provides, players will keep coming back to the game time and time again to seek for that high, and this leads to good replayability value, generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue for the devs. It's like in a relationship, you get to feel good while having fun, and the developers get to eat their first meal in a few months so that they can keep their game alive and updated. Although, sometimes this relationship can be a bit toxic. But arguably, the most crucial reason for implementing a ranking system of some sort, no matter how simple, is skill-based matchmaking. As the name suggests, this system puts players with similar performance together for a balanced and fair gameplay. The ranking system ensures that you know who you are fighting against and puts you into a match that has equally strong opponents, so that you don't get shit on. Although this system can have quite a lot of benefits, it is also the doom of many competitive games, given it is badly designed. Strictly speaking, from a player perspective, a shitty system encourages smurfs and discourages other players from enjoying the game. What even is a badly designed ranking system though? In general, these frameworks are quite similarly programmed, but the bad ones tend to make you feel a sense of dread participating in it, as if you're doing a chore instead of actually playing a game. Most games with this tedious system are the ones that have a bad sense of progression as well. Imagine this, you just finished your overtime ranked match with over 40 rounds in Valorant, with each round being more difficult to concentrate on than the last. Plus, your teammate giving you an episode of a sensory overload. Like, what the fuck bro, what's happening here? All that effort put in for it to gain 16 RR. Well, you thought, this fucking sucks. And it is. It felt like you wasted more than an hour of your life for so little gain. What's even worse is that the very next game you play and lose, you lose 30 RR. This shit make no sense. But what if it does? See, a common theme amongst competitive games is that they are built upon a mechanic called hidden MMR, matchmaking rating. Every player has a rank, but they also have a hidden rating called MMR, and this one is accurate representation of your skill, not rank. It's like a wall that blocks you from progressing, and it's silly. You're led to believe that this is your deserved rank, but then you're placed against players with the exact same rank but high MMR, and wonder why some random copper 4 is absolutely demolishing your team. Could be a smurf to be honest. Apparently, this is a way for developers to stump the player progression, so when they eventually get the rank they want, it feels better. Feel better? Sure. But is it good? No! This very system is the reason why you gain less elo than lose. Since you won against opponent with less MMR than you, the game thinks you are smurfing, so you gain less real elo, but when you lose, it thinks you fucking suck and lose even more elo. So you don't get anything but rather lose your progress? Yeah, pretty much. But it makes large game companies money, so it isn't like they are going to change anything. Another aspect we should consider is, for the love of God, stop putting high rank players against low ranks! Editor Stewie here. I want to say that these examples don't have that much differences in ranks, except for R6, as always, since a lot of these games have somewhat revamped their systems, but you get my point. I mean, I get it. It is a lot quicker to put a wide range of players with different skill set in a game than to put everyone with the same skill set in another one. But maybe, just maybe, make the difference smaller or just give the player base something to do while they are waiting. Like in Brawlhalla, when you queue up for a match, you get thrown into a training map that has a bot that you can fight against while waiting for other players. That being said, being forced to play against an opponent that is leagues above you will only lead to rage and negative response from the community. Although this isn't entirely the game's fault, as smurfing has also been a tale as old as time itself. As horrible as these methods of ranking are, people will still play the same game either way, desperate to reach the top for that hit of adrenaline. It's something desperation. I need a mommy got through to pay, but at least we could try to improve it. Before we get into this section, I would like to say that I do not have a single experience making a full game, much less an online game with a fleshed out ranking system. So everything here are purely hypothetical, and what I, alongside my side bitch, Stin, believe to be beneficial to the game. First of all, simplicity is key. No need for all these hidden MMR or impeding progress. Just make a traditional elo rating system where if you win against someone higher ranked than you get more points, and less points if it was against a lower ranked, and vice versa if you lose. This is straight to the point, clear and concise, so players don't get that depressing feeling of, damn bro, am I that dog shit? When you lost to someone that is, despite having a higher rating, the same rank as you. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't mention this earlier, but the process of joining a ranked match should be very straightforward. A prime example of overcomplicating procedure is in Udyr Strive. Here, we have the tower ranking system, which is quite frankly, ass. You have to do so much just to get into a lobby with players, and even more to be in the actual match. Also, the enemy can choose who they fight against, which means that if you play a character like Happy Chaos, notorious for being the most hated character in the game, with a lot of mix-up and crazy block string, not a lot of people are gonna wanna match up with you. So that's a lot to just play the damn game. To solve this issue, just put players into a training section and allow them to choose when to start queuing for opponents. But doesn't Strive already have that? Yeah, but it only works with people who actually use it. And most people join lobbies, not straight matchmaking. And what do you know? Now you're just playing against like a handful of players, and that get boring pretty quickly. So ELO is clearly the best way to make a ranking system, right? Well, yeah, but there's still the problem of smurfs. Simplistic ELO system is great, but it also trivializes smurfing. People could just buy a low-level account and dominate worse players. There are many methods to counter this issue though. To list a few, lock rank behind a level barrier, two-factor authentication or a phone number, publicized statistic, one account per device, and so on. Thank you to this one thread on Reddit for giving me the idea. It is also here that I saw a pretty niche proposal. The use of AI. Now that machine learning technology has become so damn advanced, like, what the fuck bro, look at this. What the fuck is this shit? Why don't we apply it to video games? Why don't we feed it the data of different matches of each rank and learn the pattern? Maybe this player movement is significantly more clean, the inputs are more precise, the texts are used more frequently, I already figured that this would be unbelievably complicated and time-consuming to implement, but hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Yeah, I could kill myself. That said, we don't need to make the AI act on the data immediately, just give it the ability to put a mark on a player as suspicious, smurfing, cheating, underranked, and those sort of stuff. Then have a team of people checking around to see if it's a correct mark or not. Time-consuming? Yeah, but it's still a lot better than not having any mark at all. At least now the player base will know if someone is suspicious or not.
It's awful. It's all fucking awful!
Oh yeah, and of course, please, how can it be so difficult? Just make the damn report function work properly. It feels as if every single large company put this function up for decoration and it rarely works. Looking at you, Ubisoft Montreal, Canada. And for the last few idea, let me pull up this Reddit thread. Put multiple suspicious marks on a player to make a priority system, make the report system better and clearer instead of just a bunch of text. And I'm sure there are a few more to improve a ranking system, but I got lazy writing the script. Thank you Ubisoft Montreal, Canada for making a horrible ranking system that inspired this video. Thank you Stin for some help with the script, and thank you, the viewer, for watching. Subscribe.